Welcome back to talkSPORT Endzone, talkSPORT's dedicated NFL YouTube channel. Myself, Will Varney, and we're building up to the playoffs getting underway this weekend. We'll keep you across all of the coverage on talkSPORT 2 and, of course, talkSPORT.com. It's an absolute pleasure to say, building up to the opening game of Wildcard Weekend, the Houston Texans taking on the LA Chargers. And it's a pleasure to say I'm joined by starting linebacker Daiyan Henley for the Chargers. Daiyan, thank you so much for joining me. How are you, my man?
Everything's been going good so far. I'm feeling good. Everyone's doing good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I did just want to start by making sure that you're safe, you're well. Obviously, a really troubling situation right now in LA, horrendous with the wildfires. I just wanted to make sure that you're safe, well, family as well, and all of the team as well.
Oh no, definitely. I appreciate you for asking. But yeah, we are doing just fine over here right now. My family is doing good right now, and I think the best part about just being part of Chargers, one of the things that was like a definite talk about situation was also brought up today. And Harbaugh mentioned like if any family member of anyone in the building is struggling, that the Chargers would help provide some sort of situation that's safer for them. And that's just a great leader that he is, and much appreciated by everyone involved in the building. And so far, we've been all right.
That's fantastic to hear. That's really heartening to hear as well. I wanted to start by maybe slightly reflecting on last season. Last season, 5 wins. But then this season, fast forward, fifth seed in the AFC. How special has this season been for you and to be part of this team?
Yeah, man, from five to a different type of five. These fives, they can be tricky, but I love where we're at right now. Just looking back at last season, obviously it's not what you want for not what you want for your team. It wasn't what I wanted for myself. And just looking at where we've come from since that moment, having to deal with, obviously it's normal to lose players, but also losing a head coach and getting a different situation, a new staff, and having everything, wiped or stripped clean in the building, and then going from what was supposed to apparently be maybe a 7-win season, a lot of people may assumed, or 8-win season, and making it what we are now, a playoff team, and not only just any playoff team, a fifth seed, so possibly winning and possibly getting the opportunity to play at home. And that just right there is just, it just goes to show what type of guys we have in this building, the type of guys who were able to stay for this trip and lead Derwin James, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Justin Herbert. Like these are guys who were a part of that 5-win team and were able to bring their leadership with the new staff and propel us to where we are right now. So it's just an amazing feeling. It's wonderful, and we can't look too far ahead. It's about going 1-0 this week.
You mentioned there that many people were predicting that you might be a 7 win team. Did I wondered, did you feel almost disrespected in the building by the fact that people weren't really talking about the Chargers in that respect of going far and booking a place in the playoffs as well?
No doubt. That definitely is something that sits in the back of the mind. You can't dwell on that type of stuff. You can't sit there and think about it throughout the day, but you have to use it as motivation, push it towards the positive note. So we're like, people doubt us, so this is our chance to prove ourselves right. You know what I'm saying? Not disregard what the media and everyone else has to say about us, because they don't know what's going on within the building. They don't know what's going on within our minds, our hearts, and that's just the type of team we are, man. Well, we just built for it, and yeah, f the critics for lack of better terms, and just keep going.
Let's talk a little bit about the weekend. Against the Raiders, you
Yeah,
book your place with the fifth seed in the AFC. And that game, there's a moment in particular, a moment that was very special indeed. Second quarter, 44 seconds left in the half, and you get your
yeah.
first career interception. You run down to the end zone. It's a game changing play. You run down to the end zone. You're flocked by all of your teammates, showing you so much love. Just tell us how that feeling felt when you're in the end zone there, celebrating with your teammates, and then reflecting upon it in the days that have come so far.
It was so exciting. It was a thrilling moment. I've had interceptions before, but none of them felt as satisfying as that one. It had just come off of the media where I was like, quote unquote snub from the Pro Bowl list. And I feel like, this was, I have a chance to continue to play football, and that matters more than being on the Pro Bowl list. My goal wasn't to to be on that list. My goal was to be a part of this team this season, be on the field. And not only that, my number one goal was to gain the trust of my teammates and my coaches. So just being able to do that and with my team and my coaches behind me, I mean, it was an amazing feeling. It was like I said, it was thrilling. I was excited and was able to just, enjoy that moment and not only enjoy the moment, but capture the win and the fifth seed at the same time. No one man's goals outweighs the team's goals, and that's just like right there. That was it right there in that moment.
You mentioned there about being deemed a Pro Bowl snub, and that's been spoken about by your teammates. That's been spoken about supporters online as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say you've led the team in tackles. You've been here, there, everywhere this season. Phenomenal in coverage. Your
Yeah.
teammates are talking about you in this light as well, and it's been a real breakout season. So, how much have you enjoyed playing in this defensive scheme with defensive coordinator Jesse Minter this year?
I mean, the guy, Jesse Minter is and the coach and the way he did like he schemes, he has made me who I am as a player in this league right now. I have to give a ton of credit to Coach Navarro Bowman because the way he sees linebacker play is beyond anyone of I've ever been able to experience. So them two guys, they just Bo tells me basically how to play this position, and Jesse Minter, Coach Jesse Minter, he puts me in position to make the plays that I make, and so it wouldn't be a Pro Bowl nomination for me, or even any type of like say with my name if it wasn't for those two guys and all of the guys around me on that field. Because like I told them, I play to make them proud. So if it wasn't for the other 10 guys on that field, there isn't nothing that I will be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing. Like, I can break down each position and how they help me and how critical they are to my success. But like just being a part of this defense, being able to make plays, being able to have my name mentioned amongst, whatever Pro Bowl list is all credit to the guys and the people around me.
To those who might be unfamiliar with your journey within the sport, it's fascinating because you didn't play at linebacker until 2020, only
Yeah.
4 years ago. I mean, you were playing as a wide receiver, then as a safety, and then you make that change in 2020. So, making that change, how has that helped you within the league when you've had a variation, a bit of a student of the game, really, in playing these different positions? How has that helped your overall development, would you say?
I would definitely say the appreciation for the sport in itself is just like being able to be in so many different positions, being able to have the mental like state to be able to focus and keen in on the details that it takes to play each position has honestly made me a better player. And yeah, it's been 4 years, but I've been training the details. Being a linebacker isn't like any other position on the field. It is definitely the quarterback of the defense, I would say, which I also played growing up. Like all the way up until high school. So like I've been able to process football for a long time and becoming a linebacker with the help of my Coach Brian Ward back in college, Ronnie Wheat as well. Like those are two guys who helped develop me as a linebacker. And right now I have Coach Navarro Bowman, who's basically just fine lining the details. And I'm always learning. I've never been a guy who's like I got it figured out. I'm always learning, and I know there's more out there for me, which means I can always develop and become better. Well, as soon as I put a cap on myself, that's when it all ends. So I will be, continue to learn until my time is up on this field.
Someone who's going to continue to push you is Coach Harbaugh, and I have to ask you about the impact and the impression that he's made since his arrival. What has he been like, and how enjoyable is it to play for Coach, who just comes across as such a character?
Yeah, I think everyone understands that. If you watch him as a coach and you see who he is in these interviews, he is exactly that all the time. And you just for you to like mention the word enjoyable, you can watch it and like understand like I would have fun if I was playing for a guy like him. He makes it fun. He keeps it real with you, and I think that's beyond all of the other measures. That he keeps it real with you. He's not a guy who's not afraid to be blunt, straightforward with you, and you don't have nothing but respect for men like that in this business. And right there is like, man, I just you got to enjoy the time you have with a coach like this because I know there is not many of him in this league. So just having fun out there, just and playing for him, playing for my teammates is kind of like the ongoing theme throughout this season.
I mentioned him being a character, and he comes across as very unique as well. Only today I was reading that he supposedly remembers the day he was born, according to your quarterback, Justin Herbert. I wondered if you heard that story and whether you had any funny interactions with Coach as well, like that.
Talking to Coach Harbaugh, yes, he definitely told us about him being born, and he told us that was what training camp was to feel like. Was like, you pop out, or it was one of the things he had mentioned. You pop out and everything's loud, you're crying, and then everything settles. And I'm like, there's no way he understands this. and and I don't know how he can picture these moments. But like Harbaugh has so many moments where he's just being himself. Uh, ice ice going in the ice tub with everything he has just worn, the slacks, the khakis. And I asked him, I said, Coach, like, uh, how many pairs of khakis do you have? Like, do you have like a ton? He was like, I have five: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So like he was like, you can't really tell if I washed or didn't because they're all the same. So I'm like, this guy's he's a genuine dude. That's who he is, and he keeps it very consistent. Like he keeps it consistent. I think when he wakes up in the morning, he puts his khaki on and his polo, he's turning it on. Like he's becoming himself. And as long as he's doing that, he won't change.
And somebody he's got the best out of is your quarterback in Justin Herbert. Just a couple on Justin in particular. Like, I think you can see he's playing with so much confidence on the field, and therefore he's playing some of the best ball that he's had in his career to date. How, I would say, enjoyable, but how impressive has he been when you're watching him at the facility, on the practice field, but also on game day as well, from what you've seen of Justin?
Justin is unique. He is a unicorn of sorts. He is it's a million ways to describe Justin as a player on and off the field. And I would say his connection to Harbaugh. Harbaugh is a guy who believes in his quarterback so much it makes everyone around them believe, even without seeing Justin. If you just came into a meeting one day and heard Harbaugh talk about Justin, you would think he's the greatest man walking the earth, and you would also believe this without seeing him do anything. You would just know. And I think that type of confidence that you have in a man makes him play the way he does. And Herbert, before, and I'm sure like before Harbaugh and however long his career goes, however long Harbaugh, I think Justin is always going to be that dominant quarterback because just watching him play, seeing the plays he make, he's like it's not enough good words to say about how he plays. I was just talking to my friends the other day and was like just talking about the fadeaway throws he be throwing, like just off the back leg and just running around. I'm like, as soon as Justin leaves the pocket, there's a chance we might score. And now you can't say the same for a lot of QBs in this league. Like when you leave the pockets, more times than not, the play is over. But when Justin leaves the pocket, I'm like, good luck to the defense because this is just the next play just started. So, and like I said, that just comes from the confidence that's built up by Coach Harbaugh. He gives Justin the green light to do whatever he wants. And that's what you need out of a quarterback who can be driven, motivated, and confident in his play. And that's what we got.
And he's got the best out of Lad McConkey this season. And Lad coming in the second round has just been so impressive. When you were in training camp and you see Lad come into the building, did you foresee him having the impact that he's managed to have on this organization so quickly as well?
No, definitely. Ladd is very, very driven. A unique player. He's a dog. His mentality is seen when he works. And just off the rip, when I saw him come in at training camp, the initial thoughts was like, man, that's a scrawny little dude. I'm like, that's a scrawny little dude. And then I seen him like move. And I'm like, he can be scrawny if he's not gonna get touched. And then he gets touched, and then you're like, bro, he's a dog. He's dominant. He's not just he is. Look at it, like he's taking hits, he's delivering hits. You see him pile drive dudes into the dirt when he's blocking. He is everything but a scrawny little dude. He is a dog, and that's how he plays. He plays big. He is big. He is that guy, and I'm glad he's on my team.
Final question from me. Really appreciate your time.
Of course.
Just looking ahead to this weekend, then wildcard weekend, and we know that when we reach the postseason, there is no margin to error. And coming up against a Texan side on the road in Houston, the offense of the Texans has had their fair share of injuries this season, but still remains their quarterback in CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
What are some of the qualities that he possesses, and how do you plan as a defense to try and neutralize that threat that he brings every time he's on the field as well?
Can't really divulge into much, but I will say that he is one heck of a quarterback. And the way he reads keys, the way he delivers the ball, his presence in the pocket. We already talked about how he has the second play type of factor where it's not over with the first play because he can extend plays. He's like I just said, he's a guy who's still up and coming, which means that his ceiling is there is no ceiling for him. So just going up against a guy like this with the team he has, we just got to prepare and be ready to stop the big plays. And if he does make a big play, which is probably going to happen when you got a quarterback like that, a big play is bound to happen. Is how we come back and how we bounce back from it, and that's what we're prepared to do: bounce back from the play he just made if he makes it, and let's go out there and try to finish this game and get a win.
2 years since the Chargers were in the playoffs, 6 years since a playoff win. How do you guys stay focused, stay composed, especially going to Houston and being the road favorites as well?
The past doesn't matter. The critics don't matter. Trying to just go 1-0. This is not about what the critics say, whether we're favorites or not favorites. It doesn't matter. The past is the past. It's all about the present. Go in that 1-0 factor and get this win and try to get to next week.
Daiyan, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you for talkSPORT Endzone. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Please keep safe, please keep healthy as well, and hopefully we'll be having a conversation in New Orleans in February. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a good one.